You don't think that the Excel skill is going to be less important with the AI?
Oh no, I can't see Excel skills being less important because...
Wow, can you explain to the audience what does MVP stand for?
Sure, so it's the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional.
This video is proudly sponsored by Chapman University's Archibald College of Business and Economics, located in beautiful sunny Southern California. Are you thinking about pursuing a master's in accounting? Chapman's MSA program is tailored for ambitious professionals like you. With intimate class size and a collaborative atmosphere, you will receive personalized attention from world-class faculty who bring extensive industry expertise to the classroom. Enhance your accounting skills, fulfill CPA license requirements, and elevate your career with Chapman's flexible MSA program. Discover more and apply today at chapman.edu/MSA. I love that function. I use that function a lot in my spreadsheet as well, just like create the formula and like I use function, or I can use specific word. Like when I have the list to check the status for staff, I say if it's prepare will be in this color code, review will be in this color code. So when people update, I say it doesn't matter what you put in that paragraph, as long as you put this keyword for me, and then what color will show up. And then when I look at the spreadsheet, I just look at the color to see, do we have a lot of green? It means job is almost done. A lot of yellow, it means wow, still in review. When we have so many red, it's like, hey, what are we missing here?
That's good. And I love conditional formatting. It is one of my favorites.
Yes, that's my favorite. And I think pivot table is so good in text as well, because I use that a lot when I have to work on fixed assets. I use that a lot when I work with like different clients and they have different categories. Or like when I assign the staffs, I want to make sure that, how many returns that I assign for these staffs and how many hours that this staff going to work on. Do I need to reallocate, move around a little bit? So for audience, if you don't know about conditional formula or like pivot table, those are two things that I use literally every day, every day.
Yeah, and let me share a few Excel things to look at if your listeners aren't familiar with these couple of things. So it's it's going to be tables to store your data. That's on the Insert tab, Table.
Yes.
So tables store the data. If you're creating formula-based reports, then learn the SUMIFS function, SUMIFS. And if you're building pivot table reports, learn how to use pivot tables. If you're getting data from outside sources and copying and pasting it in, use Power Query instead. So learn that skill. It's huge. And then Power Pivot for more advanced pivot tables. So those would be like 5 things that I would think would be a big game changer.
Yeah, I use some of them. I did not use all of them. But I use some of them, and they are really good. I think SUMIFS is really amazing because it's just like advanced level of SUMIF. You can take advantage of multiple functions of column and rows. I love that function as well. But Jeff, I know that Excel is so important and so necessary for this career. But with AI, it looks like AI can assist staffs a lot with like the report, with summaries of detailed summary. What do you think about Excel skills play in this AI technology age?
Yeah. So I use AI every day, from ChatGPT to Copilot. And I feel like they are able to help us leverage and work faster. They're able to explain formulas that we encounter that we don't understand. So like if I inherit a workbook and it has a bunch of formulas with functions, I can copy paste and say, please explain this formula to me so I understand it. It can help me write formulas and functions. It can help me write VBA or macros. It can help me understand VBA code and macros. It can actually, with Copilot built into Excel, it can actually make changes to your workbooks. So, hey, can you create a formula column that breaks out first name from last name? And then it can actually analyze it and make commands within your actual workbook. So I see it as a great leverage of helping us work faster and learn Excel faster and be able to use some of the features that I might not be aware of, like pivot tables. Hey, create a report. Hey, use a pivot table. So it's great for that type of solution.
But you don't think that the Excel skill is going to be less important with the AI?
Oh no, I can't see Excel skills being less important because honestly, if you say, what is total sales? And AI looks around and it says total sales is $1 million. How do you know? How do you know that's right? In other words, there's no audit trail. It just gives you the answer. And that's today's version. So you have to know where these numbers come from. You have to know how they were built. So when your manager or your CFO says, Jeff, what are these travel and meals and entertainment expenses? You have to know where they came from and what they are. So I don't see Excel skills going anywhere at all. I think it's just another feature to help us use Excel more effectively.
Great. That's great. I love that. I love that because I love Excel. I don't want it to go away.
People have been trying to kill Excel for a long time, and they've failed every time. It's not going anywhere.
No, one thing I don't understand, Jeff, that people still use calculator function in the laptop. And I was like, you opening Excel and you opening another function calculator to just calculate it? I don't get it because you can calculate it in Excel and just use the sum function. Help me understand why people do that.
I don't know. I know that people use Excel at different levels. And, honestly, when you open up Excel for the first time, it's this blank grid. And you're like, okay, now what? Like, what do I do? And so people are at different levels of their Excel journey. And so wherever you are, I just try to help you take the next step and the next step and the next step, because it's a deep program. It's a big program. It's not simple to master. And so wherever you are on your Excel journey, I say, let's just keep taking the next step. So if you're looking for a 10 key and typing in the number, let's talk about the sum function or the subtotal function, which might even be better depending on what you're working on. So yeah, everyone's at a different place.
I like it how you put it. I agree that different people will have different journey in Excel. It's just like different people have different journey in this CPA career. So that's just very interesting to me that you working in audit and then you narrow it down to just focusing on Excel only. Do you feel like the knowledge that you learned when you were in public accounting or in private accounting is wasting? You waste your time in those years working in accounting, or those experiences support you to be who you are today?
Absolutely, they support where I'm at today. I wouldn't be here had I not had all of this different path. I mean, from public accounting to private and industry and the consulting business, they've all helped add to Excel University. It's all been one big journey, from the articles to the blog to the YouTube channel to the hundreds of live sessions to the on-demand courses helping everyone around the world. It's all supportive of the company and where I'm at now. And I'm really just trying to leverage my ability to help as many people as possible.
So there are so many Excel trainings in the market already. Like even within the firm, we also have a lot of trainings, Excel videos, maybe from different companies. How do you make yourself stand out among so many other Excel trainings company?
Yeah. So The big differences for my training is it's designed, okay, it's designed for accounting and finance and CPA roles. And so I focus only on a subset of Excel, the subset that's most going to help you work faster if you're in one of those roles. The second thing is I design it to help you with your recurring use workbooks. So I don't just teach something because it's cool. I only teach it if it helps you speed up and work faster. That's my criteria. The other thing is it builds on itself and then revisits different topics. So I might show you about concatenation in one lesson, but then we revisit that several times. And so it's not like 6 individual courses, it's like one big progression. And that's a lot different than other classes, which are more like a random collection of tips and tricks. Mine is explicitly designed in a very specific progression. And then the other thing is it's designed to give CPE credit. So if you're a CPA, we are a NASBA approved CPE sponsor. And so the classes are for CPE credit. So when you're looking for CPE, you could take some things that are I just click the attendance check and move on and I don't get anything out of it. But if you take my CPE class, I will teach you something practical that's going to impact your career and help you get your work done faster.
So talking about CPE, it's funny that back in many years ago when I took CPE courses, you will receive questions related to the content that you are attending to see if you are actually understand what you are watching or not. But recently in last several years, I noticed that the CPE course, you have the CPE question to say, hey, do you like money? What time are you morning person or evening person? Like it's just some random questions about your life. So people I feel like if you don't pay attention to the course, you still can get the CPEs. What kind of CPE questions you have in your CPE?
Yeah. So NASBA is the organization that determines what are the standards. And so for live webinars, the standards are just, am I here? It's an attendance check. So I don't have to assess if you actually learned anything. My classes fall under the NASBA delivery format called self-study. And so I test for your knowledge of what I teach. And so there are quizzes with qualitative feedback to help you as a learning tool. And then there's the final exam. And with a passing score of 70%, then you get your CPE certificate and you can reattempt the exam. So I definitely make sure that you know the topics.
70%, not 75. So that's good. So you don't remind people how they pass a CPA exam. I'm still panic about 75 passing score because I got 74 and I got 73 and 72 and I was like, I don't like 75. So I'm glad the passing score for you is 70. So that's good.
Yes, it's 70%. And that's just basically NASBA sets the rules. And so I implement all their rules. So that's their policy. So yeah, it's if you actually pay attention to the lessons, it's super easy to pass.
That's awesome. And it's also helpful for your daily work as well. So it could be awesome. I could strongly recommend you to take Excel trainings either from Jeff or from your CPA firm or from your company. That's super helpful for your career. I don't know how many times I emphasize through this podcast, but I love Excel and I wish people can learn more about it. So Jeff, I would love, that's why I would say, Jeff, that is a perfect topic for me for this podcast. So now my question for you is that for students, they are encouraged. They're not sure about what their career looks like after they graduate with the accounting degrees, that they want to pursue a CPA or not. But based on what you are doing, people may come up to see that, hey, Jeff, he can do Excel with a CPA license, but I can do just the same like what he does right now without a CPA license. So what is the CPA license roles in your career?
Oh, for me, having the CPA certificate, oh, you mean what are the benefits of getting a CPA versus not?
Well, I would say that how the CPA license support you in the career that you have right now as president of the Excel University, because for this position you don't need to hold a CPA license, right?
Correct. So for this role, I still maintain a CPA active license. I don't let it go to inactive because I worked very hard to get that. And so I will keep renewing that for as long as I live. So, but you're right. I'm not doing taxes. I'm not doing audits. I'm not doing any financial statements. It's just 100% full-time Excel training. So you're right. I could let it lapse, but no, I've definitely worked too hard to keep it. So I'm going to keep it.
So why you want to keep it? What's the difference that you want to keep it and then you don't, that with the CPA license after your name, with like just your name without CPA license, how people look at you with the CPA license?
Yeah, well, that's true, especially for my audience who are largely CPAs or accounting and finance. By having CPA at the end of my name, they know I'm them and I'm them because I am them. I've done everything that they do, right? And so it helps them feel comfortable that the stuff I'm going to teach them is legit. It's like almost it meets a quality standard if you can kind of think about it like that. And so as a CPA, the courses are the highest quality that they can be, especially when you add on the fact that NASBA puts a lot of quality standards. And so my classes have to meet that high threshold for delivery and for content. And so they can rest assured that it's the best training that they can get.
That's awesome. How long does it take to for you to have NASBA approve your course?
Long time. Long time, but it was back when they were redoing their QAS. So the queue was extra long, but it took about 18 months to get the class to become a NASBA CPE sponsor. I've heard it's less time now, but at that time, yeah, about a year and a half.
Wow, that's a long time. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. But
it was
yeah,
a very long time.
now you work hard for the CPA license and you work hard for that NASBA sponsor. So you're not going to lose those two things.
Correct. I update that every year and to make sure that I'm current. Yes.
Do you involve in a lot of volunteering activities to spread more information about what you are doing with the Excel, your passion about Excel to students?
Yes. So actually, that's one of the things that Microsoft looks at when they're considering who to give the Microsoft MVP award to. So just by way of background, the MVP is awarded to a relatively few number of professionals for their contributions to the community. And so what that means is I donate, actually, most of my time is spent developing my free content. Very little time is spent developing content that I charge money for. And so it's going to be things like all of my YouTube videos, my blog posts, the articles. And so that's most of my time is actually volunteering in a way because it's developing content that can be consumed for free immediately. And that's why I was awarded the MVP.
Wow, can you explain to the audience what does MVP stand for?
Sure. So it's the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional. And so once you're awarded, you apply, and then once you're awarded, you are part of a group that actually gets to interact with the program managers at Microsoft on the Excel team. And so we're currently having monthly meetings with the Excel program managers, and they're constantly getting our feedback about potential new features that they're developing. They'll show us little sneak peeks. So I'm under NDA, so I can't talk about any of the new stuff until it actually gets released. And then we also go up to Redmond once a year for the MVP Summit. And that's where we get to meet in person. I get to hang out with all my Excel friends. You all know them if you're following any Excel influencers, or all my friends. We get to hang out for during the summit up there and meet in person, provide feedback, suggest features. When they were coming out with this trim range, function and new, operators. They're like, hey, what do you guys think about this? What would you expect to work like this? And so we get to give feedback. So it's just a wonderful way to be tied into the Excel community.
Wow, now you have more time for yourself because building online courses, you have more freedom to build, to spend with your community and also spend with your family as well. So what do you do for fun when you have all those free time, Jeff?
Oh man. Well, my wife and I love to mountain bike. We went to Bentonville, Arkansas, which is like one of the big mountain biking places. So we love riding. We love running. We're trying to get a half marathon done in all 50 states. So we'll see how that goes. And so it's spending time with my family also. So yeah, those are a couple of the hobbies that I enjoy.
Did you say Arkansas?
Arkansas, yeah.
Where in Arkansas?
Bentonville.
Oh, okay. Because I went to Arkansas for college, and people
Oh,
always say like, Rosie, you travel across the globe because I'm from Vietnam. You travel across the globe to just go to Arkansas? I was like, what's wrong with that? I still got my degree in accounting. So
yeah. No, that's a great little town that we visited within Arkansas, and they have some amazing trails, hundreds of miles of trails at all skill levels. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
that's awesome. Wow, you want to do the half marathon? That
Yeah, in every state, we're trying to get that done. So
how many states have you done so far?
only a few. We're kind of early because we're just entering the kind of empty nest stage of our life. Our youngest is ready to go to college coming up, and so this would be our plan to finish them now that we're going to be empty nesters soon. So that's the goal.
Oh my God, that sounds so exciting. When you get to Massachusetts, make sure you give me a heads up. So
Yes, that would be awesome.
that would be awesome to meet up with you in person. So your kids, are they considering to be a CPAs, or they just like, no, dad, granddad and dad, they are both CPAs. My family have enough CPAs.
I know. I don't really see that in their future, although our youngest is talking about a business degree, so that might lead to accounting, who knows? But yeah, otherwise I encourage them to follow the passion in their heart and not just follow something that would be for me. I'd much rather them do something that they love, and I encourage them fully to do that.
Wow, talking about the passion, a lot of people they say that, hey, you have this career, you should choose something that you like, you have passion about it. And so this is just a funny joke we talk in public accounting, like, so you tell me that you're so passionate about accounting, but do you really feel like your passion when you work so many hours in busy season? Do you are you still passionate about that?
No, I know, I understand. And all the deadlines and the stress and the pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, so your career option is just like provide to audience that hey, you can take a different path with no deadline and have all the free time going to go all the mountain bike and half marathon when you have free time. So
Yes, and I actually love being in accounting and because I feel like it can lead you anywhere. Like, let's say you love technology. You could be an accountant at a tech firm. Like, it opens so many doors to any industry that you want and any specific company that you want. And so it can really, it can lead you anywhere you want to go. I mean, look at where it led me. Now I'm actually getting paid to do the thing I love, which is to talk about Excel. Like, what?
isn't it amazing?
It's amazing.
Yes, that's just crazy because talking about do what you love. I love talking to people. So that's why I have this podcast. And so I'm doing this podcast for free for a long time. And people like, when people ask me about podcast, and they was like, where do you find time to do all this podcast when you have to do tax deadline? busy season, staff trainings, and also like you do all of this for free. I was like, well, it's my passion, and so when I have the sponsors for this podcast, it is the Chapman Universities when I went to for my master degree. I was so excited that yes, not that much, but finally I get paid for what I like to do.
What a great feeling that is. Your passion turned into yeah, that's wonderful.
Isn't that cool?
It's
Isn't
so
that
cool.
cool? That's amazing. Well, I don't get to your point yet that you like completely freedom from that. I'm still have to do a full-time job that doing a text for client service. But I know when you also mentioned that you do a lot of free content on YouTube, writing blog, all those times, how long does it take you? Do you still produce free content on YouTube or no, you stopped doing it?
No, I still do. Yeah, once a week, everything goes. So that weekly tips newsletter that I was talking about before, that includes the link to the weekly video and the weekly blog post. So that's still something I do every week. Yeah.
That's something you like to do, right?
Well, I love showing the new cool things and different ways to accomplish something. So often my videos might say, here's something that we need to do. One way is to do it manually, like you've been doing it for the last 20 years. But here's this other way to do it, which is going to help you get it done faster. So I love doing it, setting up my training like that.
Oh, I need to check out your YouTube channel. I know I check out your website, but I need to check out your YouTube channel. That will be fun because I do have YouTube channel as well for this podcast. And
Yes.
I did share some tips and advice, and then I have been so busy that I haven't produced any videos, just myself sharing tips and advice. But that's a great platform that you can share with so many people when you just need to make one time the video, one time only. Isn't that cool?
It's cool because it stays there and then people search for it. But it does take a lot of time, I'll admit. Just even a 5-minute video takes 10 times longer than that because of planning it, creating the workbooks, recording it, editing it, like getting it all done. So it takes a long time, but it's very satisfying.
Oh, really? It only take you like 50 minutes to make a 5-minute video? It took me a lot longer.
Yeah, maybe that's a low estimate. It probably takes a couple of hours at least per a 5-minute video. Yeah.
Yes, I remember like probably years ago, I made one video is six minutes and a half, and it talking about the difference between audit and tax, and it has the most views on my channel. But it took me 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours to work on it. So I was like, it takes too much time. I'm going to just do podcast. It's more fun.
Yeah, and I think, you watch a YouTube video and you're like, oh, that was a 5-minute video, not realizing how long it took the creator to produce it. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Jeff, I have so much fun talking to you. We talk so much about all different things. I don't know if we're really talking about CPA career paths, but we share so many different viewer points in this career that you can have the CPA license, but you don't have to do tax or audit or deal with the deadline, just like what you are doing right now with your company. So now for students who are just about to graduate and for young professionals, besides the advice that they should be good at Excel, what other tips and advice you can provide to them?
I would say probably start with the larger company that you can get into, and then it's easy to go down to smaller companies as opposed to the opposite way. At least that's the approach that I took, and it worked out really well because back when I was going, there was the big six, and so I went to Arthur Andersen, and having that name on my resume, I could literally go to any company in the US and get a job there. And so it stacks up your resume to give you leverage to go to your next step in the process. So that would kind of be what I would recommend.
That's a good tip. That's a good tip because most people would say a lot of soft skills, a lot of like how you need to focus on like communication, expand your network. But it's also good that if you can start at like big firms and they know the name is well known by so many people. When they look at your resume and say, "Ooh, this golden piece in on your resume," and you just get at least you passed the first review route and you can get to the first review, like actually interact with someone from the firm or company. So
Yes.
I love that, Jeff. Thank you so much for the interview today. I feel like we learned so much about Excel, and people who listening to this podcast, check out his website, his blog, his YouTube, his weekly news is amazing. And again, please learn about Excel. That will help you so much for your career. Thank you so much, Jeff, for the interview today.
All right. Thank you so much. It was great being on your show and appreciate your time.
Thank you.